Welcome to episode 2 of Apartment Hunting here in New York City. Hi, hello, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. In that case, my name is Flor. I am a content creator based here in New York City, and this is episode 2 of an apartment hunting series that I'm doing because we are moving apartments. So first of all, if you haven't watched my apartment tour video, I suggest you go ahead, you watch that one. It will be linked up here right now and also down below in the description box. And of course, go ahead and watch episode 1 of this series, because otherwise this is like missing an episode of your favorite TV show where there's some things that make sense, but there's some others where you're like, wait, I don't know what's happening. So watch episode 1 first for sure, and then come back and watch this one. So since this is episode 2, I am not going to talk all about why we are moving again. If you want to know the why we are moving apartments now, go ahead, watch episode 1. But I'm still going to do a quick review into the what we're looking for in our new apartment. So first of all, we are looking at either a 2-bedroom apartment or a 3-bedroom apartment. In the first case, we would have a bedroom for my husband and I, and then one for our daughter, Julia, who's 1 year old. In the other case, our third bedroom would be for our office. If we end up having a 2-bedroom apartment, our desk would be in the living room area as we had in an apartment back in Germany. So both options would work, but we do need the apartment to be kind of large, like around 1,000 square feet. Then we're looking at an apartment that has a dishwasher and a washer and dryer. For us, these are essentials and must-haves. I explained a lot more in our first video, but we need them basically. We also need and want our apartment to be bright, to have lots of windows, lots of natural light. That is something that I personally appreciate a lot when it comes to basically being in an environment that has windows and has light, but also because of my job of being at home mostly either filming like this or editing, it is very useful for me to be in a bright space. And then our fourth non-negotiable is for the apartment to be pet friendly, of course, because we have our dog Oreo and we need for her to be able to live with us. And then we had some other things that are things that we desire, but they're not mandatory. If the apartment has them, that's great, but if not, we can work around that. First of all, that the apartment has a doorman and or an elevator. We would ideally love to have both, but we understand that the apartment building might be smaller and not have a doorman, or that maybe we could find an apartment in an older building and live on the ground floor and then not have an elevator. So we could definitely work around that. And we're also pretty flexible when it comes to where in New York we want to live, but we do need some things nearby that are essential to us, like having a supermarket and being well connected in terms of subway lines and having a daycare where our daughter Julia can go to. So if we stayed within the neighborhood, Julia could still go to the same daycare that she goes to, so that would be ideal, but we are open to moving somewhere else as well. And finally, when it comes to budget, our budget is between $5,000 and $6,000, so that is per month, of course, and we are ideally looking at something in the middle, which is the price for our apartment in New York City at the moment. But if we can get to the lower end of that budget, that would be ideal, and we would only go above our max budget if it's something that we feel like it's really worth it. And a small disclaimer before showing you the apartments in this episode is that I know that New York City is expensive. I know that with this amount of money, you can live a very bougie life somewhere else. But we, as well as a lot of other people, want and desire to be in New York City and to live here. And we know that living in New York City comes with a price tag, and that price tag is the price that you pay for your apartment, for your monthly rent. And we're okay with that. At least as of right now, this is where our jobs are, this is where our lives are, and we plan on living in New York City for the near future. With that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get on to the apartments that I want to show you in episode 2. So first of all, if you watch episode 1, you would know that we went to see 3 apartments in South Harlem in Manhattan, and we also saw 1 apartment in Brooklyn. And then after seeing them, we decided to do a search in our neighborhood. If you watch my apartment tour video, you You know that we live in Long Island City in Queens, really close to Midtown Manhattan. So we wanted to see what other things were in the area. So we went and saw 4 apartments in the neighborhood that I'm going to show you and let you know my thoughts. So let's get on with the first one. The first apartment that we saw in Long Island City, which is going to be apartment number 5 in our overall search, was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in a really high floor and in a brand new building that has all the luxuries, all the perks, all the amenities. Really nice. So as you first enter the apartment, towards your right, you had the first closet, which is actually the laundry closet. Then as you kept on walking, you had the first bathroom, which is the guest bathroom. Really great. Love that huge vanity with all those mirrors. You had more closets in the hallway. Something that this apartment was not missing was definitely closets. Then this was the second bedroom, which would be Julia's bedroom. This is the lovely view. As you can see, it faces north. And then as you headed out from that bedroom, you could go towards the kitchen. This is the kitchen. I love that it had so much natural light, that big window in the kitchen that was beautiful. And you had this living dining room area. And then towards your left, you could find the main bedroom. This one was kind of on the smaller side. I'm not sure we could fit our king-size bed in here, but it had a pretty large closet and also a large bathroom that we liked, that had a beautiful vanity with big mirrors. I feel like the main downside for this apartment were 2 things. First of all, that even though it was a 2-bed, 2-bath, it was on the smaller side, and I don't feel like we could fit all of our furniture or most of our furniture in there, especially thinking that being a 2-bed, 2-bath, we had to fit at least 1 desk, my desk, in that living dining area, and I really didn't see that happening, if I had to be honest. And also the fact that this apartment faced toward the north or northwest, I felt like it wouldn't be as bright as some others that we saw in the past and some others that we planned on seeing. Even though I love the views, I love being so high up, love seeing the East River, seeing the profile and the skyline of Manhattan. That was really nice. I was not very sure about this one in particular. We then went and saw a 3-bed, 2-bathroom apartment, and I'm not gonna lie, this apartment was way over our budget, but we wanted to see what we could get if we ended up rising our budget a little bit. So we went and saw this one, even though I'm going to admit we were not quite sure about it. So first of all, as you enter the apartment, you had what would be the main bedroom towards your right. This one had a huge walk-in closet and a lovely bathroom. I love the natural light in this bathroom and the views. It was honestly really beautiful. I've never had a bathroom that had this amount of natural light. Same with the main bedroom. And then you went back into the main living dining room area. Quite large. I think we could definitely fit our L-shaped sofa and our dining table. And I also love that this had a huge balcony, even though the railings made me a bit scared when I thought about Julia being out here. Not that she would be here alone, but still it made me quite scared. But the views were really beautiful. It was pretty high up, so you had all these views from Manhattan and from part of Queens as well. Then as you came back inside, you were in the living dining room area and the kitchen. The kitchen was honestly really beautiful. I love the gray and white colors, and it also had a big window, as you can see, a huge modern fridge. We also had this closet, which could be a coat closet, or you could use it as a pantry as well. Then towards the back of the apartment, you had another bedroom that had 2 large closets and a big window. And then if you went towards your right, you had the other bedroom. This one was the smallest one that could either be our office or Julia's bedroom. And then coming back into the hallway, you had a closet with the washer dryer, and then you had a door that led you to the guest bathroom, which this one had this small closet, which I thought was genius, especially for towels and sheets and things like that. I thought that was perfect. This apartment also had some really great common areas, like a living dining room with a terrace and barbecue area, so that was pretty remarkable. And it also had a playroom, which is something that we hadn't been paying attention attention for in many years, but now having a toddler, of course, you pay attention to those things. So overall, this apartment was really beautiful. I'm not going to lie, we loved it, but there were two main things that made us not like it as much. First of all, of course, the price. As I said before, it was way over our budget and we really couldn't justify paying that much money for rent. And not only that, but the main bedroom being at the front of the apartment and facing towards the south really didn't make much sense to us, since that main bedroom and the living room, dining room area would be the brightest rooms in the apartment. We would love for us to be our office, and then the two bedrooms in the back of the apartment, the ones that face north and face towards a wall of windows of offices, we would love for those to be the places where we sleep, where we don't need light, where we don't want light. But the way that the apartment was designed, the one that had the ensuite bathroom was the one at the front of the apartment. So I was not sure about that. Maybe if it was within our budget and we decided to go for this one, we might have made it work, but it was something that really made me not like this apartment as much. The next apartment that we saw also in Long Island City was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. This one was really high up, but it was facing north, so I knew walking into this apartment that it might not be as bright as I would ideally like it to be. So as you came into this apartment, towards your right you had a big closet. This would be perfect for us for our winter coats, but also for storing Julia's stroller. And then towards your left you had the kitchen. It was a standard size kitchen, not too big, not too small, but I loved that it was open to the living room, dining room area, and that it had a lot of natural light. As I mentioned before, you can see that this apartment was facing north, so it would not get as much natural light as an apartment south facing would, but since it didn't have any other apartments blocking its view or blocking its light, it still was pretty bright. Then if you went towards your left, you would find the main bathroom on your left, then a huge walk-in closet, which is always great because I have way too many clothes. And then this was the main bedroom. It was nice, we loved the views, and it seemed pretty bright for a bedroom, but I don't think we could have fit our king-size bed in there, unfortunately. And then if you went across the main living room area, you could find the other bathroom, the guest one, and then the laundry closet, and then the second bedroom, which would be Julia's bedroom, that also had its own closet. All in all, we liked this apartment. It was a pretty good size. The living room, dining room area was quite large. We loved that it had a balcony. We haven't had a balcony in over 2 years since we lived in Germany, and it's something that when you live in New York City, there are a lot of months where you're not really able to use your balcony or your terrace because it's very cold or it snows. But I thought that if we could have a balcony, that would be really nice. I knew that Oreo would love the idea of having a balcony, of sleeping there during the day, spending time there. When we had a balcony, we used to have dinner at night during summer in the balcony. So it could be a great idea, but it was definitely not a requirement, but something nice to have. But what we didn't like about this apartment was the price. It was kind of on the higher end of our budget, and also that it was north facing, and even though you could see how open the view was and how there was basically no buildings blocking the view, and there will be no buildings in the future either, I still thought that it would not get as much sunlight as I would ideally like. So pretty unsure about it. We then went to see another apartment in the same building, but this one was facing south instead of facing north, so we could think like our ideal scenario. So as you first enter this apartment, you could find the kitchen towards your right. It was a pretty small kitchen, but I loved that it had plenty of cabinet space. And then towards the left of the entrance, there was this large closet, perfect for us as a coat closet, and then the laundry closet. Then you entered into the living room, and in the living room towards your right, you could find the guest bedroom and also the guest bathroom. In the main area, there was another closet that was pretty useful, and then towards the left of the living room area, you would find the main bedroom and main bathroom. As you could see, they're not quite large, so I'm not sure we could fit a king-size bed in there. And yes, I can see that the apartment is not quite clean. The previous tenants had just moved out and they were still working on this apartment. Even though they were available to show it, it was still not finished. So I like this apartment because honestly, it ticked all of our boxes. It was a 2-bed, 2-bath. It had a dishwasher, laundry unit, and the price was actually pretty good. But the things that I didn't quite like about this apartment was that the kitchen was very secluded and definitely not bright at all. Coming from a kitchen that's already not bright, I was looking into something more open ideally, so I could be more connected to the living dining room area. And also I felt like the main bedroom especially was quite small. I really couldn't see our bed fitting in there or our chest of drawers either, so I really didn't feel like it would work for us. So overall, out of these 4 apartments, we like some of them for some reasons, we like some others for some other reasons, but I felt like all of them had some downsides that really made us not pick any of these 4 apartments and not apply for any of them, which I know can be frustrating. You're like, Flor, we're on episode 2 of this series. We have already seen 8 apartments in total and you're still not picking any of them. And I'm like, yep. That's apartment hunting in New York City. Sometimes you need to kiss like quite a lot of frogs before finding the Prince Charming apartment or Princess Charming apartment. And yeah, we're still on the hunt. We're still searching for an apartment. I would definitely suggest that you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. You hit the bell so you can get notified of every time I upload a new video. There is an episode 3 of this series coming for sure, where I will show you more apartments. And of course, I would love to know in the comments which of these 4 apartments was your favorite, or maybe if you watch episode 1 as well and you want to let me know which one of the first 8 apartments that I've showed you, 4 in episode 1 and 4 in episode 2, which one of those 8 was your favorite. I would love to know that, and I would love to know what you thought about this 4. What things you like, what things you dislike, where do you think we should go next? Definitely let me know down below in the comments. And as I always say, I will see you on the next one. Bye!